What's going on YouTube? I'm Alex from Fresh Hands, and today we're doing ribs on the Yoder YS 1500. We're going to season one of the racks of ribs up just Texas style, and then the other rack we're going to use Angelo's seasoning, which as you guys know by now is my favorite seasoning. It occurred to us we had done the showdown between the YS 1500 and the Big Green Egg, which I'll put a link in the description below for that, but we hadn't just done a basic rib video, so I'm going to show you guys how I do it. It's nothing special. You'll see a lot of other YouTube videos out there that show you how to do it, but we'll go ahead and we'll get started with seasoning these things up. So the first thing you want to do is throw a binder on there. The binder is just going to help your rub stick. So we'll go put a little bit on there on both of these racks here. I got these racks from Costco. These are St. Louis cut ribs. And I'm just going to massage that into the meat. And I try not to go too heavy. I went a little heavier than I normally do, but you want to get that on the sides so that your rub sticks, you know, to the sides of the bone too. And these are just backyard style. This is how we cook them when we got friends coming over, we're cooking for work events, things like that. This is just the way we do it. So, and then what I'm going to do is take a little bit of that one Angelo's rub. You can see I'm getting mustard all over it. Awesome. And I'm going to put it on one rack. Now, I like to go pretty heavy with this Angelo's rub. I find it's hard to overpower with it, but it's got the perfect blend of spiciness mixed with that herbal note, and you don't get a lot of sugar in it, which, as you know from some of my other videos, I don't like sugary rubs. The other thing we're using is just our home blend. This is a 50-50 salt and pepper mixture, so you just want to shake that around a little to mix it up. Depending on the coarseness, this is just a little bit of kosher salt and some coarse ground black pepper. I'll just put that on there. And then I always like to kind of spice things up a little bit more with, in this case, I like to add a little bit something different with this Rib Whisper Texas Love Rub. I find it just gives it an extra little bit of herbal note. You don't want to go too heavy on that, but it just helps when you're doing just a simple kind of hill country style salt and pepper like that mixture is. So let's flip these over. We'll season the other side. We just do both sides the same way. Just a little bit of mustard there, a little bit of mustard there. Massage it in. Real easy. Massage it in. Cover all sides. And then we'll go with our Angelos on this one. Try not to cross-pollinate them too much. And then we'll go, I'm gonna get on the sides there too. All right. Mix this up a little bit. You just want to mix that up before you start sprinkling, because sometimes some of the smaller particles in the pepper, depending on your coarseness, will tend to settle out to the bottom, so it's always good to kind of mix them up a little bit more. And put a little dusting of that love rub on. All right, guys. And just like that, just that easy, those things are ready to go out onto the grill. So I've got the Yoder YS 1500 fired up. We're gonna cook these today at 225. I like to do 225 instead of 250. It's all up to your personal preference. We're gonna throw some pecan pellets on there. I really am just really enjoying that taste of those pecan pellets right now. You know, I've used oak in the past. I like oak too if you're going for that kind of Texas flavor. But things like hickory and mesquite work pretty well too on these pellet cookers. So we'll go ahead and bring these outside, and we'll bring you back when we're ready to go and put them on the smoker. Okay, y'all, we got our ribs seasoned up, and we kind of let that rub sit and tack up on the ribs. If you want to take a good look, you can see where basically we've kind of started to see that rub melt into the ribs. So that's when you know they're ready to go on the smoker. And what we're going to do now is throw them on the smoker for about 3 hours. Once we hit that 3-hour mark, we're going to take them inside, and we're going to wrap them with some butter, honey, and just a touch of brown sugar. You guys know I don't like super sweet ribs, so we're going to do that. And then we'll cook those for about another 2 hours. We'll call it 1 to 2 hours. Start checking at about 1, because what you want is you don't want those ribs to stay in that wrap for too long, because they'll start falling apart. So I start checking at 1 hour for kind of pull, and we'll show you guys what we do when we're at that stage. So let's go ahead and get these on our Yoder YS 1500. this rack up front. Put that rack right there. All right. And it's as simple as that. We're just gonna go ahead and let those things sit on there for about 3 hours, and we'll see you guys back when we're ready to wrap. Our ribs have been on for about 3 hours now, so it's time to take them off and wrap them. So let's go ahead and take a look here. And look at this. You can see that we've built up a lot of really nice color on our traditional rubbed ribs. And then when you look at the ones that just have salt and pepper on them, you can just see that red popping out. And that's just that smoke color and getting on those things. This is what it would look like if you went and picked up a rack of ribs and somewhere in like hill country or somewhere like that where they just use that salt and pepper rub. So let's go ahead and get these off. See, they're bending. They're not quite ready yet, but that's how you know that they're starting to get ready. So we're going to help that process along a little bit by wrapping. So now that we got these bad boys off, we're going to bring them inside and we're going to wrap them in aluminum foil with butter, brown sugar, and a little bit of honey. So join us inside and we'll show you how we do that real quick. We're inside now and we're ready to wrap the ribs up. So let's go ahead and take our first rack, which is our traditional rub. And once again, you can see they're starting to get a little tender. So I'm going to put these to the side. Let's prep our wrap area. So I'm just going to lay out a little bit of butter, kind of the width of the ribs there. Drizzle some honey. As they say, honey's for the money, even though we don't compete. This is purely for fun and shenanigans. And then I just like to sprinkle a little bit of this brown sugar, or a lot, a little bit of brown sugar on. We'll just take that and we'll set that aside. I don't like that much brown sugar. All right, and we'll just kind of try to make that a little bit more even there. So now we've got this nice little bed to lay these ribs in. Lay that down. And I fold it over, fold the sides. And I like to come back up and around. And you want that really tight. A lot of folks say it'll steam them if you don't get it really tight. I don't know if that's necessarily true, but I'd rather be safe than sorry. And it just makes it easier from a transporting perspective. If they're nice and tight, you can just kind of stack them and go. All right, there's one rack. And in case you missed it, 1, 2, 3. Once again, that's the way I do it. I do sliced butter. Some people you'll see use the parquet squeeze butter. Everybody has their own approach to this. There's no right or wrong way either. So you got to do whatever makes you happy. Whatever makes you want to eat whatever it is that you're cooking. You're putting a lot of time in, so you may as well do it the way you want to do it. All right. Oh, look at these. These just look so amazing. Oh, man. Makes you just want to go on a trip up to Fredericksburg, which for those of you who aren't from Texas, that's just an area where some of the best barbecue that comes out of hill country. It's my favorite style because it's very simple. Most everything is seasoned with just salt and pepper. It's amazing. Definitely recommend if you haven't been up there or to the Austin area and tried the barbecue to just definitely go check that out. Okay, so remember, looks like this more curved one is our other style, and this is our kind of just salt and pepper. So this help us keep track of them when we get them out on the grill. So if you guys follow me out there, we'll go ahead and throw these back on, and then we'll start checking them for tenderness after about an hour. All right, let's go ahead and get these things back on the smoker. And as a side note, you don't have to put them back on the smoker. A lot of guys, after they get that smoke on, they'll just throw them in the oven at 250 degrees and then they start checking them there. Saves you a little bit on fuel, but we've got the smoker fired up for another cook we're doing, so we may as well just capitalize on them and use them there. So we'll go ahead and start checking them after about an hour, and we'll bring you guys back when we're ready to cut into them. All right, everyone, it's been about an hour on these ribs, and so it's time to go ahead and check and see if we've got the right tenderness before we unwrap them and ultimately sauce these things. So let's go ahead and take a look here. See, they're still nice and wrapped up. So let's check on our more traditional ones first. Let's use our hands. Kind of
enough burnt fingers over the years that enough of the nerves have died. It's probably not that big of a deal. All right. So this is good. This is a good learning lesson. So see right here, we've got a little bit of membrane breakdown on the backside here. Not a whole ton of bone pullback yet. And as you can see right there, still pretty tough. I couldn't just pull a bone out of there yet. So basically what that means is that we've got a little bit more time to go on these. I'll probably check them again in say 20 minutes or so, but see, this is why you just got to check and play it as you go, and every rack of ribs is different. So we'll go ahead and show you guys, you know, when we're ready for our next check. So anyways, we'll catch you back in a minute. All right, y'all, it's been about 25 minutes since we last checked on these ribs. I think it's time to go ahead and take another peek. But first, I just wanted to say, you'll notice in the last scene that I had a bit of a wardrobe change. And I just want to stress that having one of these pellet cookers is just so awesome, because it allows you to not be a slave to sitting around by a stick burner all day and just putting a log on and, you know, having to be there every 30 to 45 minutes. So with this, I was able to go get a workout in, come back from my workout, check on the ribs, and then go ahead, get a shower, and then change back into my old clothes. But it just allows you so much versatility. And some people will say, you know, pellet cookers are cheating or whatever. You know, to me, as long as at the end of the day I'm, one, having fun, and two, the food tastes good, I don't really care. So that's my 2 cents there. But let's go ahead and take a look at these ribs really quickly. All right, now I did swap them around. I moved the Poultry salt and pepper style up front. You can see here, you know, we're getting that kind of that degradation back here a little bit, and these, they're ready to kind of fall apart. So those are looking pretty good. That's exactly what I want to see. We might let those sit for say 10 more minutes or so, because they're about ready. Let's push these aside. Let's go in here. Let's look at these. Okay, see. These have really deteriorated down a good bit on the backside there. And they're just ready. Those bones are just ready to kind of like come out of there. So you can kind of see when I go in and just kind of tug on that. I mean, they're ready to come apart. And I've got some decent bone pullback there. So I think what that means is I think it's time for us to go ahead and get these off. And what we'll do is we'll pull them off really quickly, and then we'll bring you back when we put them back on the grill, and then we sauce them, because I am going to sauce these ribs. You don't have to sauce them, and that doesn't necessarily mean it's like a wet rib as you would think of by definition. It just means that I'm going to go ahead and put a little glaze on there, add an extra layer of flavor, because I'm in a saucy mood. So anyways, we'll catch you back when we're ready to do that. Alright guys, I put them on and we just need to sauce them up right now. So let's go ahead and do that. Look how beautiful those things look. Just absolutely gorgeous. So we'll sauce those more traditional ones first. I'm not going on very heavy. Just doing a light glazing. You just want to cover everything. Trying to get too many brush marks on there. Oh yeah. There we go. That's all you need on those. I go a little heavier on these salt and pepper ones here. Sometimes the pepper can be a little overwhelming for some folks, so I like to add a little bit of sauce. A lot of people really like sauce. It's on there, so that should do it. Alrighty. Alright. Man, look at that. They just glow. Absolutely gorgeous. Alright. Enough of that. Whew, I got smoke in my eyes. So we'll let those go for about another 15 minutes or so, 20 minutes. We'll check on them, and then we'll be ready to take them off, slice them open, and eat. So stick around, because you're going to want to see these. Our ribs are finally done. We got them sauced and we pulled them off the grill, let them sit for about 10 minutes, and now it's time to cut into them. So before we do that, let's just talk about what we did today. We took our ribs, basically St. Louis style ribs, we pulled the membrane off of them, and then we put our binder on, which in this case was mustard. We used Angelo's seasoning, and then we also used just a salt and pepper blend with a little bit of Rib Whisperer rub on the other rack. Then we went and put them on the smoke for about 3 hours, took them off, wrapped them with butter, honey, and a little bit of brown sugar in our wrap. Then we let those go for about another hour, hour and a half or so. Then when we were done with that, we took them out and then put them back onto the grill and sauced them. So now we're ready to go and dig into these. So let's first take the kind of peppery ones, the ones that were just salt and pepper with a little bit of that Texas Rib Whisperer on there. So they're very, very tender, and you can see all that membrane break down on the back. And I'm just gonna cut right into these. Just follow the bones here, and then we'll just pull that middle rib out. Let's take a look at that. Yeah, you can see got nice smoke penetration on there. Nice and juicy still. I mean, they just look awesome. So let's go ahead and take a bite of these. We'll see how these taste. Yeah, those are awesome. You know, I always hold back on doing the sauce, but the sauce just made these just really offsets that salt and pepper very nicely. Gives it a nice like tackiness in your mouth. Sorry for eating in front of you like that, but man, I know what I'm having for dinner. Wow, those are good. It's gonna be hard to beat those. Not that it's a competition. We just did 2 different styles of ribs there. So let's get these out of the way, and let's go on to the ones with the Angelo's rub on them. Now, I did notice that the membrane broke down probably a little bit quicker on these. These were a little bit flatter too. Of course, the bones are maybe a little bit more angled, but we'll just cut this one right out of the middle here. And just follow that bone. All right. So once again, good smoke penetration on these. I mean, you can see nice juiciness there in the meat. It just looks really good. Let's go ahead and let's see. Well, these are much richer. You can definitely tell I used the butter, and the sugar, and the honey. Really comes through in the flavor of these like more candied style ribs. That is so good. The bite's really good. These are really tender. I mean, just look at it. It comes right off the bone there. And the other ones did too. I mean, if we go back and take a look, I mean, identical levels of tenderness. Man, both really good options. I mean, these are, I just can't hold myself back from eating them. They're so good. Anyways, so I hope you guys have kind of enjoyed that video of just seeing 2 different styles of ribs, and in all honesty, like those might be some of the best I've had. I think the sauce really makes them. Remember, we used that Head Country sauce on there. Some people might not like that. It's a little bit sweeter, but I think when you have more of a salty or spicy rub like that Angelo's is, I think it really helps complement the rub. So anyways, y'all, if you like what we're doing here at Fresh Hands, go ahead and hit that subscribe button in the bottom there and hit the little bell, because the bell's going to tell you every time we post a new video. We try to post a new one every week. So anyways, I hope you enjoy this. I hope you go out and try it for yourselves. Please let us know what you think when you do. And until then, happy cooking.